Data scientists, ML engineers, developers, Kaglers, AI leaders, and all of the AI community members across the globe. I am excited to welcome you to the Google Cloud Applied ML Summit. I'm Julia Elliott, Competitions Lead at Kaggle, and I'm thrilled to share what we have in store today to support you in sharpening your ML skills and applying learnings from leading innovators to your projects and career. Following our opening keynote with Spotify, we'll split into 3 tracks so you can choose your own adventure. Discover MLOps tutorials. Our technical workshops will help you deploy and manage more models into production using Vertex AI. Explore cutting-edge innovation. An incredible lineup of speakers will discuss how they have built game-changing ML systems from the ground up and disrupted their industries with ML. Advanced ML Ops. Organizations such as Uber, L'Oreal, Vodafone, Sabre, Mr. Cooper, and Essence will share their practical roadmaps for practitioners to build more successful ML Ops strategies, stay relevant, and get promoted. As our tracks will run in parallel, you will be able to access the videos on demand by logging back in here, so you can catch anything you missed or watch again. Finally, we'll come back together for a very special closing keynote with Francois Chollet, AI researcher at Google, to share what's to come in the next 5 years of deep learning. Be sure to join as many of the sessions live as you can to participate in interactive activities, meet the community, and get your questions answered. To celebrate the Applied ML Summit, we are very excited to announce a brand new Kaggle competition, launching right now in partnership with Major League Baseball. You'll be able to apply learnings and tooling shared through the summit to this competition to forecast digital content engagement at the player level and compete to win major cash prizes. Learn more at kaggle.com and get modeling. Right now, we have a very special keynote speaker, Tony Jbara, the head of ML at Spotify, to tell us about some of the exciting work they are doing in applying ML to the Spotify experience. As a Spotify user myself, I'm very excited to hear what Tony has to say, as I'm sure you are too. Don't forget to submit your questions for Spotify in the Q&A forum below the video. Tony, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Julia. We are excited to continue to partner with Google Cloud. Hi, everyone. I'm Tony Jbara, VP of Engineering and Head of Machine Learning at Spotify, which is one of the most interesting jobs I could ever imagine at one of the most exciting consumer platforms on the planet. We've expanded our ambitions to include not just music, but all of audio, as those of you who are already podcast fans already know. Spotify has 2 frontiers, 2 sides of our business, listeners and creators. And they represent fascinating frontiers that we're looking to create the best possible experiences for. The possibilities are endless. So at Spotify, machine learning is at the heart of everything we do. It's already there, but our aim is to step change how we optimize the value of our audio content for every listener and every creator. So far, machine learning has evolved in bits and pieces into our product. And we have good yet fragmented bits of machine learning technology across all of Spotify. But instead, what we want is machine learning to be there not as an add-on, but rather as a central tool in our product. That is why we are moving towards a more holistic machine learning approach, also known as reinforcement learning. A holistic solution would understand every listener and gets them, and it would understand every creator and what they need for their creations and careers in the long term. We believe personalization should deliver a lifetime of content rather than optimize for clicks. And so we are moving from personalization and machine learning that is short-term and fragmented to long-term and holistic. We don't want the users just to click and play the next audio snippet and to just have transactional machine learning on our service. Rather, we believe machine learning should deliver a lifetime journey through audio content for the consumer. It should also provide a lifetime journey for the creators as well. And so we optimize increasingly for long-term or delayed reward, leading to trust and a meaningful relationship between listeners and the audio they love. So don't just optimize for the next click or just an extreme, but really optimize for future engagement, future satisfaction, and the future retention of the users. Similarly, optimize for the long-term career satisfaction and retention of the creators. Those will lead to a trusting and meaningful connection between the listeners and the audio they love. In other words, we're not just giving you the immediate transactional audio that you ask for right now, but also recommending for the future. We believe that life is richer with a personalized soundtrack. That soundtrack includes both familiar wants and new discovery needs. A fulfilling content diet balances both. We want to make sure we blend the wants and the needs of the user so that we can build a more complete relationship with audio. In order to do that, we give users what they already want: familiar music, popular music, trending things at the top of our homepage. In that more dense area, you're getting the things that you really know and that you're used to consuming and are actually pretty easy recommendations for you from an ML perspective. But at the same time, we can't just address your immediate wants in a transactional way. We also have to think about your long-term sustenance. So long-term sustenance includes things like diversity, discovery, new artists, new content, new habits, and new routines. We call this a fulfilling content diet. Content, recommendations, and experiences that help you to experience content that you personally will find interest in, and not just things that you already know or things that are just really popular. Maybe I joined Spotify to listen to dance music on a Saturday night, but eventually now I can start a new behavior like enjoying a news podcast Monday mornings during my commute, or listening to a crime podcast while I prepare dinner. These types of things are needs the users don't know they want right now, but we want to help get them there slowly using reinforcement learning. We want to upgrade what we mean by personalization and scale it so that it doesn't just solve for the wants, but also solves for the needs. This means we have to get people on a journey from familiar wants towards discovery. A journey is basically a sequence of steps, a sequence of recommendations and actions we need to take with the user. That means we may not get immediate rewards during the sequence. It's not just about that next click, but it's about a month from now or 2 months from now how you built a new routine, a new habit, a new discovery that now augments your connection with audio versus just satisfying your immediate, easily predictable next want. So you see on the screen 2 different types of cards we can show our users. On the left is on repeat. This is music that you've already listened to. We know you're likely to click and listen again, but that's not going to make you happy long term. In fact, you might get bored of listening to on repeat. So we also have to pepper in something like a long-term need like Discover Weekly, which helps make sure that you're creating new relationships with audio, as opposed to just exploiting or repeating your current relationship with audio. We have to figure out with personalization at scale how to deliver the instant rewards of your wants balanced with what we call delayed future rewards. That's a different kind of gratification. This is why we're making a transition from machine learning to reinforcement learning to help power our vision. So reinforcement learning has been around in areas like robotics and gaming, like AlphaGo, which enables machines to beat human experts. But it's new territory to try RL with audio media. We're learning and experimenting and building and testing how to do this at Spotify, and this is really fun work. This can only be done at Spotify due to our scale, the number of listeners that we have, the number of artists that we have on the platform, and the enormous amount of really engaged and enthusiastic listeners that we are fortunate enough to have that show us myriads of different listening patterns that are like unique fingerprints for each individual. So why reinforcement learning? It's actually satisfying the motivations I started off with. It's really about long-term optimization, unlike most machine learning, which is about next click or learning a simple input-output mapping. So reinforcement learning is a natural progression also of our current multi-arm bandits technology, which is already powering things like our homepage, which is built with bandits to assemble cards and shelves into a homepage. Think of bandits as RL without states and without dynamics. Bandits are just trying to win that next click without caring how they change the user state into the future. RL instead optimizes for long-term sustainable rewards, and that's what we want for our listeners and creators. And it's actually an exciting cross-discipline and cross-functional endeavor that spans our engineering, research, and design teams. And we are excited to continue to partner with Google Cloud and its tools like TensorFlow, TFX, and TF Agents as we move to reinforcement learning. So look at this user. She's moving in an audio landscape that looks like this set of stairs and a set of plateaus and with peaks and valleys. This abstract audio landscape is, let's say, the user's current relationship with audio. And what we're trying to do is offer the user ways to elevate to higher altitude their relationship with audio. So how do we get this user to not just continue to consume familiar music she knows on repeat, but also offer a path where she can go to a higher altitude state and gain a deeper, more powerful connection with audio through, let's say, Discover Weekly, where she can form new routines, discover new content, and build a more meaningful, trusted relationship, in a way moving up in value with audio content. Here is a little bit of the tech underneath the reinforcement learning loop. The system on the right is constantly trying to learn better about each user's connection to audio content and move users to better and better locations in the user state map. You'll see the classic building blocks of reinforcement learning which go around in this cycle. It shows what we do on our side of the system to model the three key types of interactions we can do with the users: the actions we can take on the users, the observations we can make, and the rewards users give back to us. And the goal of our system is to maximize the sum of future rewards. The content delivery system has to perceive the observations to figure out what state the user is in. We can then use that knowledge to estimate your altitude or satisfaction. This is called a value function in RL lingo. And from there, we can execute something we call a policy, an action plan, or a series of actions that slowly improve your altitude in the audio landscape. That way, we gently nudge the users along this deliberate journey. In order to train the RL, right now we're looking at some of the past journeys we've already seen from our users as they consume our audio and navigate through different tracks and different stations and navigate between playlists and podcasts, and how they come back and re-engage and discover new things. Can we view the good historical journeys from our happiest users as training data? We can then plan and propose new journeys deliberately into the future for new users that are having trouble building a relationship with audio. That way, RL can help us sequence tracks, transition across playlists, and into podcasts. Another key piece of technology for reinforcement learning is being able to simulate the actual audio we have in order to train agents and policies. We can't just build machine learning with inputs and outputs, but rather agents that we are building need to take sequences of actions. How do we evaluate these RL agents before we test them live in the real world? We are building simulators that predict what would happen over many steps and interactions with Spotify across episodes. Then we can see how we perform before we evaluate our policies and agents on real users with an A/B test. We're also experimenting with both existing and new user item representations to better encapsulate state. These are small steps we can take towards training a single Spotify agent. We're learning how to do this first on a single surface and going outwards from there, but so far we've seen encouraging results. In the end, what are we going for? We want to evolve from a fleet of transactional machine learning systems into a more connected, holistic, and far-sighted audio content experience based on reinforcement learning. The future of machine learning, ML infra, data, and UI is to build a fulfilling audio content journey for users and creators, also known as the best Spotify for you. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Wow, thanks Tony, that was fascinating. Don't go away because in just a few moments, we're going to be answering your questions in a live Q&A with Tony. See you there. Thanks.